Two flags.
Two flags on the play.
That's a good call there, Vinny, with a big, strong quarterback to get out of the hole. Here it is right here. We used to do that with Gabe. Heavy, strong quarterback. He can get 2 or 3 yards.
Roman Gabriel, of course, the quarterback you're alluding to.
Real good call.
Bartkowski is 6'4", 213-pounder.
One of the rules we gave our defense,
number 29,
in this situation is don't give them 1 first down. When you got them inside of the 10, don't give them a first down.
Well, he just did on offside against Mike Burns. It's 1st and 5 because of the offside to the 5-yard line. Second man, Haskell Standback, and he is grabbed, among others, John Woodcock was very visible, number 77. There's John James. He's a 7-year man out of Florida. He had 515 punts prior to this year. He's had another, 46 punts. He's had only 1 blocked in his career, and with an average of 41 yards, he's right on the money. A magnificent punter, and I can think of no better compliment than George Allen brackets him with Ray Guy. 2nd and 2 from the 9. Bubba Bean, and he's got daylight. Bean to the 25.
All right, this is something that happens quite often. Down in this situation, sometimes you get a crack just like this. A runner like Bubba Bean is going to have his eyes open. He's going to be looking. And a lot of times you can break this all the way. That's usually when you break those 80-yarders.
Bubba Bean has carried 10 times for 47 yards. He's having a typical workhorse day. Bartkowski throwing a very wobbly pass that landed behind Rhodes. It was intended for Billy Rickman, but he threw a dead bird downfield.
Well, I'll tell you something. Detroit defensive backs are going to have to start watching the ball. That ball could have been intercepted.
Yeah, it landed right behind Rhodes.
Steve was hit just as he threw the ball to Vinny.
Dallas and St. Louis, and look what's in the air. Jim Otis has just punched over from 1 yard out. It is 14-7 St. Louis over Dallas. 1:58 left to go in the second quarter. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Bubba Bean, and he's out across the 30. He had to get to about the 36-yard line, so he still has a way to go. Ed O'Neill made the tackle.
You know, last week the Redskins couldn't run against this Detroit defense, and the Falcons are doing a good job of moving the ball on the ground.
Well, I'll tell you, Coach, last week Detroit had what I call an emotional attitude. I mean, they were really after that game because they had embarrassed themselves the week before.
That's correct, Jim.
3rd and 2 on the 33-yard line of Atlanta. Francis is wide right, and they pitch back, and Haskell Standback is wrapped up as he crossed the line of scrimmage, so he didn't get it. And the man who came up to hit him was 77, John Woodcock, and there's a player down and injured. We can check a score for the moment. Green Bay jumped out in front to a 28-0 lead, and now they're leading 38-14 over Seattle in the 3rd. Turdell Middleton has just scored his 3rd touchdown. The fallen Lion is Bruce Rhodes, number 33, who played at San Francisco under Clark. Also, Haskell Standback of Atlanta has a bad right foot.
Yes.
And you're looking at 87, that's Fred Scott. Scott is the rabbit who'll go back to field the John James punt. We have another score we can duck in. The New York Jets are just chewing up Baltimore 17-0 with 9 minutes left to go in the second quarter. And Lehman Bennett, who has seen his young Falcons hold back the Lions, holding them on the 6-inch line. His counterpart, Monty Clark, thoroughly frustrated because the Detroit Lions just can't get their offense in gear. Meanwhile, banged up Bruce Rhodes, who had a fractured left leg in 1977, and we certainly hope it is not the left leg that's bothered him again. And meanwhile, standing alongside getting some information, the good-looking Beach Boy, Steve Bartkowski. Say you want another good lineup? How about tonight on CBS? Pull up a chair. Look at this. 60 Minutes, followed by All in the Family, then Alice, then a great new one on Dallas and Kaz. Tonight on CBS. 4th and 2 from the 33, and John James will be punting from his own 20-yard line. Brazina back to keep him out, and Freddie Scott all alone on the 30. Oh, did they put some heat on him, and Scott will pick it up on the 33 and will go down on the 33. 35-yard punt, no return.
All right, let's look at Mr. James. As we said, he's one of the greatest punters in the league, but the heat coming there was great. Now, George, you know if the technique was right, he could have blocked that punt, right?
He should lay out in front of the ball. He went for the ball and went underneath his hands. He could have blocked that punt with a proper technique.
So Detroit will put it in play. 1st and 10 on the Lion 32-yard line. Freddie Scott never got a chance to get open. On their last drive, they came up short 6 inches from the Atlanta goal line. Play action fake to Bussey. Scott all alone. Boy, you talk about naked unto the world.
Well, Vinny, I'll tell you, his blockers missed that particular block.
Well, Jesse Thompson getting some last-minute words from above, and Monty Clark passing him into him.
Good play recognition on the part of the Falcon defense. They're all over there pursuing. Now the Falcons have substituted, and they've gone into their 34 defense on 2nd and 9.
On the Detroit 33-yard line, a painful one on that pickup for Freddie Scott. It's a slot left. Jesse Thompson is inside Fred Scott. The running backs remain King and Bussey. Uh-oh, I'll tell you, number 62, Lynn Bodine. He jerked his head in his guard position, and that upset everybody. Watch the head just to the right of Danielson, number 62. There it goes.
Well,
I got you, Lynn.
What happened there?
False start offense, number 62.
The dog as if they were going to blitz, and then came out of it and changed their coverage.
Bodine is a first-round draft choice of 75 out of South Dakota State. He's a good one. Detroit now has been penalized 6 times for 55 yards. 2nd and 14 from the Lion 28. Slot right with Luther Blue inside Freddie Scott. Danielson just got away from Yates and throws it to Freddie Scott, and he was able to make the reception before being knocked out of bounds, and it should be a first down, I believe.
All right, let's take a look at 87 Scott. He drives real hard. Drives, he stops. We've seen that pass before. Right in the slot, steps out of bounds.
Jim, that's a good example. They rushed 3 and covered with 8. And if you give that quarterback time to throw, he's going to complete them. They faked the dog and just rushed with 3.
Well, you can see as he went out of bounds, he needs that much more, does Freddie Scott, who, by the way, is going to medical school at Cincinnati Medical School. He's got a head on his shoulders, that kid.
Beautiful. But he didn't look at that first down marker.
If he gets hit many more times like that abortive screenplay, he'll be both doctor and patient.
Well, what's going to happen with his hands, Vinny?
Vinny, you know, Detroit's such a great sports city. It's a shame that their sports teams have been down. Now the Lions are coming back. Ted Lindsay's doing a good job with the Red Wings. But I think it's one of the best sports cities in the country.
Without a doubt, yes, without a doubt.
Tigers are coming back.
3rd and inches for a first down for the Lions, and it's Danielson trying to sneak for it. He's big enough. He's 6'2" and 195 pounds.
Oh, now watch the quarterback. He does take a little step, but his head is really a little too low. Now, he probably got the first down. But normally, as Coach Allen says, you will hesitate there, take your look, and move to the softest spot.
Take your opening. He was lucky to make that. He just buried his head, and he only had a few inches to go, so he made it.
And I learned that lesson from you.
He relied on Lynn Bodine, as we see Lehman Bennett First and 10 on the Lion 43. Play action fake to King over the middle to Hill, and the big tight end makes the reception, and it looked like Pridemore and Reed each took a leg and made a wish.
Yes, sir. I'll tell you something. When quarterbacks establish their running game, what they're really doing is trying to set up something so they can pass. Now, that was play action. The play action was the key to that, but Coach Allen has something to say about this hit.
Here's another delivery sack. Watch, just as he throws the ball, he's hit.
Now, what's the purpose of a delivery sack, Coach?
Well, it's perfectly legal. You hit the quarterback in the art of throwing the ball, in the act of throwing the ball.
Jesse Thompson in motion right. Second man, Dexter Bussey. Adios. Jeff Merrow hit him down, so Merrow is facing the other goal line. He hit him right at the ankle.
We have a heck of a game going here. The momentum is changing.
By the way, Danielson, who has had several drops, including one in the end zone, is 8 for 16 for 128 yards, which is very good considering Monty Clark's running game has sputtered so much.
Excellent point, man.
Monty, squinting out through this Georgia sun, saw his Lions get to the Atlanta 6-inch line and run out of petrol, so we'll see what they do now. Second and 10 from the 42. And Danielson has his man. And it is Dexter Bussey looking first to lateral the ball, but there wasn't anybody around him except Greg Frazina and Roland Lawrence, and they brought him down. First down,
Atlanta's
Detroit.
dogging, and the corner did not take away the inside. See, the receiver got inside of him. You got to take away that inside on the dog. He had to wait a little bit for the ball.
Now, Coach Bussey had a lot of spirit going here, great attitude, but he was looking to lateral instead of looking for that first down marker.
Bussey had caught 11 passes coming into the game, so he's accustomed to taking it.
But
it is first and 10, and look at there, Washington and Philadelphia 10-10 in the third. Washington barely beating Detroit in the last 2 minutes last week. Tight end Hill in motion to the right, and Danielson going to put it up under a rush, throwing on the run and threw it away. And a flag on the play.
Intentional grounding.
A lot of pressure by number 79, Jeff Yates.
Again, they dogged him. Nobody's open. He scrambles. He's going to be sacked. He just throws it away. Nobody in the area. Nobody in the area. Intentional grounding. Good call by the officials.
Offense, illegal pass. That's a loss of a down. Second down.
Buffalo leading Houston now 10-7 in the second quarter. So Dan Pastorini's having his troubles for the moment. Gary Danielson now has a 2nd and 20 from the 41. Remember, he had a 1st and 10 on the 33. The backs go out, and in come the Falcons. Jeff Yates, number 79, 6'3", 248 pounds, out of Boston College. Waived by Buffalo, and what a fixture here in Atlanta.
All right, we've been talking about Yates. Now let's watch him come in here. We talked to Claude Humphrey. We know Claude is great, but this guy, George, is rushing the passer today.
Yes, well, what helped him on that is there's
Humphrey.
Yes. I'd go up and get Humphrey out of the stands, say, come on, get out of there. They dogged that play, and that helped Yates get in there, not to take anything away
Well,
from
here's a great call. 3rd and 35.
Put up a bomb, Vinny. Put up a bomb.
That's what Danielson plans to do if he gets a chance. The bomb is away to Freddie Scott, and he made the reception out of bounds. Right there with him was Rick Bias.
He did the right thing. He put up a bomb for Scott, his most reliable receiver. Made a good catch and a good throw. Let's watch this closely. Broad. Hard to tell whether he's in or out in that.
Well, you look at the toe. Look at the toe of his right foot.
He's out, I guess.
He's
well
out.
executed.
Tom Sclodini has punted 5 times for a 48-yard average today, and look at that dart he just hit. Oh, what a punter he is. Tom Skledany. Oh, he just punted 56 yards. Magnificent kid. He's going to be a great punter in this league.
You know what you do? You build your defense, Jim, and you get a good punter, a great punter like Skledany, and then the offense comes around.
You know, in the Big Ten, he once had a 68-yard punt. He had a 59-yard field goal. Watch this technique on a low snap. Watch him get into it. Boy, you talk about a good leg. But the Lions are still shut out. 1st and 10 from the 20. And just about time has run out in the third quarter. Ricky Patton in there spelling Haskell Standback. And that's the end of the third quarter. With the score, Atlanta 7 and the Detroit Lions nothing. We now pause for a word from your local station.
They say McClintock lost his woman, and that makes him lose his temper. John Wayne.
Oh, pardon me.
McClintock at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
This is CBS.
Then on All in the Family, Stephanie's future is up to Archie. Next on Alice, it's a free-for-all when the gang spies on Vera. Then Black Market Baby, a special Sunday episode of Dallas. On Kaz, what hold does Kaz's client have on Bennett? It all starts Sunday at 7, 6 Central and Mountain.
A 7-yard run by Larry Zonka has gotten the Giants close. It's Tampa Bay 14 and the Giants 10 with 10 minutes left to go in that fourth quarter. There is Greg Landry. He is certainly frustrated, standing on the sidelines after 11 years. #1 draft choice way back in '68, but he's had to sit and watch. Bartkowski on a draw play, and that's the end of it. Bursting through is Ken Sanders, and the tight end just ate up Bubba Bean.
All right, here is what I call a physical attitude. Draw play, which is always a good play.
Well, they ran a stunt.
The stunt got him, didn't it, George?
That's a good counter for draws.
Yes, sir.
Look at Philadelphia out in front of Washington, 17-10 in the fourth. Detroit let it get away last week. We'll see if Philadelphia will or not. 3rd and 10, and Bartkowski going to the air. Got his man Bean, and Bean caught it at the 23-yard line. Walt Williams sailing over the top.
Well, here's a 3rd down play, and Detroit's dogging. The pass and the pattern were too short to pick up the 1st down. The Atlanta offense is going to have to get going a little bit, or the defense is going to have too much pressure on themselves.
Two marvelous punters in this game. John James with a high snap, but he kicks it even higher. And Freddie Scott, along with Jesse Thompson. Thompson throwing the block and wiping out Ken Strong, or Ray Strong, number 25. What a block. And for a moment there, Strong, who's had a sprained ankle, barely survived
this is a high snap. James is a good athlete. He goes up. Look, and he caught the back half of the ball.
By now, almost everybody's heard about the incredible Black & Decker Workmate. About how it makes almost any hard job a lot easier. Like planing, hammering, sawing, almost anything. But what most people don't know about the incredible Workmate is now you can get a single hatch model for as little as $45.
Wow.
That's right. A Black & Decker Workmate for about $45. That's really incredible.
When do you sing Budweiser?
Whenever the moment is right for a great beer.
When do you sing Budweiser?
Whenever the good times are moving to right here.
After the work is done, while you're still having fun, the king of beers is waiting for your call.
When you say Budweiser, you said it all.
For Detroit, they have gained only 18 yards rushing on 21 attempts. And Gary Danielson still trying to find the secret against this very stubborn Falcon defense. 1st and 10 on the Detroit 35. In motion, Luther Blue. Here comes Dexter Bussey, and there goes Dexter Bussey. Oh.
Detroit is using motion to change the strength and bother the Falcons' force, but it isn't affecting them at all. And the Falcons are in that odd man line, which is real strong against the run on first down and just eating them up.
Seattle, Green Bay. Turdell Middleton has just run for his 4th touchdown of the afternoon. Green Bay 45, Seattle 21, 4:35 left to go in the 3rd. 2nd and 15 from the 30-yard line. Jesse Thompson wide right. And it's a pass to Thompson, and he's across to the 45, midfield, and he goes into Atlanta territory. Jesse Thompson.
All right, we're looking from the end zone. Good release, good pattern. Detroit has an attitude. They get a good first down, and right now, George, that's what they need.
Yes, they dogged on that play, and the corner didn't have good position on him. Those in moves have affected the corners of the Falcons.
Blue left, Scott right. 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 49. And a flag and a whistle, so hold everything as Bias goes over the head of Luther Blue.
Too much time.
Seven to nothing in favor of Atlanta. Detroit got to a 4th and goal, and they wound up 6 inches short, so they're still trying to get on the scoreboard.
Start, number 76.
And that would be the rookie tackle, Carl Bolschweiler. And Detroit now 8 penalties for 70 yards. So not only is their running game sputtering, but the rule book has got them jammed up.
They're beating themselves.
Haskell Standback, who had a leg injury earlier, and of course he's a top runner for Atlanta, trying to get some feeling back into that right leg. 1st and 15 from the Detroit 46. Bussey. And Bussey did not make it to midfield. Frank Reed came up to hammer him.
Vinny, that's a picture tackle. Head on, locked his arms.
He's another kid who likes to mix it up. He's from a family of 11 children. 3-year veteran out of the University of Washington.
A lot of large families,
yeah, there's some great stories down there when you think about it.
Right, watch this. Watch it right here. Right in there. Good leverage. Look at him keep his legs driving.
Coach, the back really didn't have a chance because he was out of position. He couldn't get low, so you're supposed to have a picture tackle on that one, I think.
2nd 11 from midfield. And Danielson looking left side and going deep for Freddie Scott. No good. He ran out of real estate again.
Looked like he could keep his feet in on that one.
One foot.
Oh,
and not the other.
Oh, they teach that. That's a basic. That's basic teaching, right?
Tap, tap drill.
Tap, tap, drag.
Yeah, he should have had that one.
It's 3rd and 11, and Detroit has only 1 third conversion in 11 tries, and the Giants have moved out in front now to lead Tampa Bay 17-14. Larry Zonka scored his 2nd from 1 yard out. 3rd and 11. Big play for Gary Danielson. See if he's looking for Scott. No, he goes the other way. And he's got his man. But I don't think he got the first down.
He had a chance to get it, but he cut back. If he kept going forward, I think he'd have had the first down.
Horace King making the reception, but more interested in avoiding a tackle and making the first down, and he let that get away.
They're going to go for it.
They need about 1.5 yards. And Monty Clark, you could read his lips then. He just said it, go for it. And he's going to send in a couple of fresh replacements now to get something going. Bill Gay, number 83, is a tight end, but at the last minute, they've decided to 10-inch Tom Skladany. I'd bet the house that Monty did say go for it, but they changed their mind. And Skladany, with a flag in the air, gets the punt away. And the punt will go out inside the 5, but there was a flag dropped almost immediately.
So many penalties on the kicking game.
And it's against Detroit.
Beautiful kick to waste.
Magnificent kick. He kicked it to the 4-yard line, and it's down the drain.
Don't beat yourself.
Well, you can understand how a coach like Monty Clark feels. I mean, he's really a fine coach, but a lot of mistakes, so many mistakes. You just can't make mistakes.
I keep thinking in this kind of a situation after the call of the classic cartoon.
Wait a minute. Offense, illegal formation, number 83.
The man they had just sent in, Bill Gay, was called for illegal formation, but I remember the cartoon, and it said, "We have met the enemy, and they are us."
Yes.
And that's been Detroit today.
It's a good example, Vinny.
So Tom Skladany, a magnificent kicker, will try it again from the Detroit 45. Billy Rickman is all alone at the 10. End over end. And it's going to roll, but Rickman catches it and making a quick return. He gets to the 40. Flag on the play, but he's still on his feet, is Billy Rickman, and finally goes down at the 30-yard line.
Flag on the play, Vinny.
There are flags all over the place.
Well, they're trying to jam this receiver front and back. Only the end man could go down, but they couldn't touch him. Now here's a heads-up play by Rickman. Gets a good bounce. A spontaneous return. Real good running, good balance.
Watch Bill Gay almost take his head off right there.
Yeah, that's the penalty right there, face mask. Tremendous return, a big play that may turn this game around for Atlanta because they've been struggling this last quarter.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on number 52.
Oh.
Receiving team.
The penalty was against Dewey McClain of Atlanta. That was a surprise. There were so many people taking shots out there.
They missed that face mask.
Yeah, Bill Gay had the face mask. But now let's see, Rickman was shaken up, but he's okay. And he comes off after a magnificent 55-yard return. And look at Dewey McClain. He is steaming.
But Vinny, in talking about Rickman, this kid is a classic example of a guy who doesn't have a lot of speed, but his attitude is so great. He got his chance to play. He's been returning punts well, and he has the surest hands on that football team.
He had to talk his way into Atlanta Stadium when he first made the ball club. He doesn't look like a ball player.
Looks like a beach boy.
Watch Dewey McClain. He's number 52. You can see him pushing the center right there and driving forward, trying to drive the center right into kicker Tom Skladany. And there is Bill Rickman after that great return, catching his breath. R-Y-C-K-M-A-N, Bill Rickman.
Pressure on the defense.
Magnificent return. He's out of Louisiana Tech. He's only 170 pounds and 5'11". But Detroit has it first and 10 on the Atlanta 31. Danielson looking left, going deep down the left side, and it's going to be picked off and dropped. And the man who had it and dropped it is Rick Bias.
Good coverage. They, what the Lions did, they changed their strength and made the Falcons shift. He had time to throw. Good coverage by the right corner. As you backpedal, you have a tendency to be off balance and dropped it. Detroit has to score in here to get back in this ball game.
Pittsburgh trying to make sure that they stay undefeated. Rocky Bleier just scored. It's 27-7 Steelers. 2 minutes to go in the third. We're second and 10 on the Atlanta 30. Danielson, a quick out to Jesse Thompson. Bias drags him down, and I don't think he made the first down. Maybe inches when he was spun away, though they might have to measure when they place the ball. It would appear to be about 3 inches shy of a first down from our angle.
I'll tell you something, Vinny. There seems to be no awareness.
That's right, rookie teams.
You know, I mean, it's ridiculous because you always look to get that first down.
The two youngest coaches, Lehman Bennett 40, Monty Clark 41, are growing older by the day with these two young ball clubs making mistakes. So here it is, 3rd down and inches. We'll see if Danielson sneaks. No. Dexter Bussey for the 1st down. Boy, you can see that. So let's backtrack a minute. Skladany kicked inside the 5-yard line. Detroit guilty of an infraction. Skladany kicked over again. A great return by Billy Rickman. Only an infraction by Atlanta gave Detroit the ball back. So it's one young team canceling out the other.
You're absolutely right.
This is the ball game for Detroit right here. They have to score.
Remember, they came up a buck short on their only other drive. 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 17. Blue goes right, Scott left, and all day it's Bussey and King. Bussey.
Again, Jim, I'll repeat, they're going to have a difficult time hammering it in against that Falcon defense in here.
A pass on 1st down would be marvelous.
Dexter Bussey has been in the red. He is 1 yard minus so far today. That's got to be, and that would be in, let me see, 10, 12, 13, about 14 carries. And Monty Clark talking to the man upstairs. The man upstairs hasn't been listening.
You know what you mean?
Here's a big down.
2nd down and 9 from the 16. In motion, Jesse Thompson to the right. And whammo! Horace King is belted. First it was Wilson Falmina and then Robert Pennywell. But Falmina, number 74, is the guy who really put his needle on empty.
Wasting it down on that.
Well, there's Benny Ricardo. They did not go for him on their other drive and wound up with nothing. And of course, with a 3rd and 9 on the 16, 7-0 Atlanta, Ricardo might yet be called on.
Now they got to throw, Jim.
Well, yes, but you see, everybody knows that now.
Exactly. Scott left, Blue inside Scott. Danielson under a rush. Got his man, a juggling catch by Luther Blue, and he got it at the 10-yard line and then gave back a couple. But Luther, nevertheless, making the reception, a 2-year man out of Iowa State.
Danielson got hit as he threw the ball, as he delivered the ball. They really put the wood to him. They dogged him that play. 4th and 4.
4th down. We'll call it 4. It's a very long 4. Danielson is 13 for 25 and 183 yards, which is a pretty good day for a quarterback without a running game. The ball is on the Atlanta 12, and we'll see now if Detroit can keep it alive, or will they be stopped? And Gary Danielson says, hold everything. This is a coach's decision.
Jim, what would you do in this situation? What do you like here?
Well, I tell you, I think I probably would roll out, sprint out, give myself an option.
Yeah. Despite the fact you have a running game that is non-existent?
Well, I mean, my quarterback would roll out, throw, run, scramble. But I don't think I'd do anything else because I'd want as many options as possible.
Time in the game, 6 minutes and 18 seconds left to go. Benny Ricardo listening as they talk to Gary Danielson, but it's still the Atlanta Falcons 7 and the Detroit Lions trying to get on the scoreboard.
Announcing a whole new breed of Mustang for '79. The turbocharged Mustang from Ford. With the performance of an optional turbocharged engine that took Mustang from 0 to 50 in an average of 7.1 seconds. Precise handling from sports car features and more. Mustang Turbo in 3-door and 2-door models. Capture one at your Ford dealer now.
Can you believe it? I've really gone and done it. Finished school and joined the Army. But can I really cut it? Well, I think I'm gonna get the education of my life.
If you're out of high school and you're ready for the education of your life, join the people who've joined the Army.
I think I'm gonna get the education of my life. And I think it's just exactly what I need.
Next Saturday, CBS Sports Spectacular features USAC racing from Brands Hatch, England, the world's strongest men competition, and more. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Down play for Detroit. And Gary Danielson, 4th and 4, they're coming. And it was a blitz as he fumbled, and Atlanta all over him. Shooting the gap, among others, that's Dewey McClain, but Tom Pridemore, number 27, on a safety blitz came through like he was shot out of a cannon.
Perfectly timed. Perfectly timed.
Here he goes.
Watch him. Perfectly timed. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful safety blitz. Great defense, perfectly timed.
Well, I'll tell you, Coach, when you don't pass on 1st and 2nd down in a situation like that, you allow the defense to get ready to do exactly what they did.
7-0 Atlanta.
Here's 100 years of tradition coming at you.
Here comes the king.
Here comes the king. Here comes the big number 1.
Here comes the king.
Budweiser beer, the king is second to none.
When you say Bud, the king is coming. Let's hear the call. When you say Bud, you've said it all. When you say Bud, you've said it all.
The financial capital of America. Home to hundreds of investment firms. But whose thinking is sought by corporations and governments? Who is quoted almost every day in America's business press? Yet who always has time to help any investor of any size? You know who. There are lots of investment firms, but there's only one, Merrill Lynch.
Atlanta leading 7-0 on that safety blitz by Tom Pridemore. Horace King tried to pick up the blitz, but he couldn't do it. So it is 1st and 10 Atlanta on the Falcon 22, 7-0 Atlanta. And there goes Patton out to the 25-yard line. Remember, Haskell Standback is still shaken up. And again, we get back to it, boys. There was over 6 minutes left. It was 7-0, 4th and 4.5. What about the field goal? Well, I mean, now it's obvious, right?
You can go back to the other 4th down play. If they kick a field goal there, they kick a field goal here, they can win it with a field goal.
Would you consider that being ultra-conservative for a team that's 1-5?
Well, you got to take some chances, Vinny.
2nd and 6 from the 26. Bartkowski pitching back to Ricky Patton. Walt Williams came up to stop him just for the moment, and then Kenny Sanders stopped him for at least a couple of minutes.
Now here's something that breaks your defense down. They just been on the field, made a great goal line stand. Now the offense should come up with at least 1 first down here. Otherwise, they're back on the field again, fighting for their lives.
And Monty Clark knows he still has 5 minutes left in the ball game. 7-0 Atlanta. This is Vin Scully along with George Allen and Jim Brown from Atlanta Stadium. 3rd and 8, the ball on the Atlanta 24. Wallace Francis wide left, Billy Rickman wide right. Patton and Bean the running backs. Bartkowski going for a first down. He's got Patton, and Patton is brought down inside the 45-yard line. The 2-year man, Walt Williams, finally making the reception. But a big play for Ricky Patton, a rookie out of Jackson State.
Well, this is a good play, a good call. This ball was right on the button. The receiver came back and made a catch above his head. Usually in this situation, your defense and the wide receivers and the tight end. The back came out and split the seam.
We mentioned earlier, going into this game, Bartkowski had a 63% success average on his 3rd down passes. Bartkowski is 11 for 17 today for 162 yards, 1 touchdown. That was the pass to Billy Rickman. 1st and 10 on the Detroit 44, and that's the big play that the Atlanta defense needed to get a rest. Here comes Bubba Bean, and Bean is dragged down by Ed O'Neill before he can get to the 40-yard line.
You know,
O'Neill, a 5-year man out of Penn State.
We both talked so much about the Falcon defense doing a good job, but Detroit's defense has done a tremendous job today, too. They've had a lot of pressure on them, and they're doing a good job.
As you can see, the time running out, 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Jim Brown will leave our booth now and go downstairs to position himself to talk to some of the players. That's Tim Mazzetti. Mazzetti kicked the point after the touchdown pass to make it 7-0. And he is stretching those thighs and hamstrings, getting ready for perhaps another clutch kick. 2nd and 9 from the 43. Van Note leading the way, the unheralded center for Ricky Patton.
One first down here, Benny, is so important. Just one first down for field goal range and to keep that clock moving.
You know, this number 33, Ricky Patton, 5'11", 185-pounder, a rookie out of Jackson State. In his senior year at Jackson State, he scored 7 touchdowns. But the point I want to make, 5 of his 7 touchdowns were over 40 yards. So if you open the door, he's gone.
Shows he's got good running ability.
Yeah, there he is, and he can fly. He's playing because Haskell Standback is banged up. 3rd and 3 on the Detroit 37. Bartkowski to Patton with Bean out in front. There he goes. That's the kid. Charlie Weaver finally brought him down.
You know what they did there? They dogged inside. See, they're dogging inside, and they ran an outside play, so it opened up an alley for him. He almost did what you just said, Vinny, go all the way.
Almost.
He's a good-looking back.
Charlie Weaver had to come back and over to get him, or he would have added more to that. And Atlanta on the move with 2 minutes left. 7-0 Falcons.
When a guy uses a quality motor oil, he's saying, engine trouble, stay away from my door. What he wants is protection, and that's what STP motor oil is all about. Its special formula has 7 important additives. It's made to protect and lubricate an engine for 15,000 miles. That's extra protection, and it's tested and proven, so try it with confidence. Yeah, for my car, it's STP.
Think of the most professional-looking sound system you can imagine. Think of the ideal place to house it. You're thinking of one of JCPenney's remarkable new MCS series audio rack systems. Now, think of an incredible everyday saving of over $300 when you purchase any of these component systems as a package. JCPenney's MCS series audio rack systems. Think of the sound. Think of the service. Think of the savings. You won't have to think again.
Monday, WKRP in Cincinnati goes on location.
Coming at you live and jiving from Dell Stereo.
Ben People looks at Reggie Jackson, Steve Martin, and Leif Garrett Monday.
Lehman Bennett talking to his quarterback, Steve Bartkowski. Bartkowski, 11 for 17, 162 yards, and 1 touchdown. And really the difference between Bartkowski and his counterpart, Gary Danielson, would be the running game. Danielson has done pretty well, especially when you realize that of 26 Detroit rushes today, 13 went for losses or no gain. At least Bartkowski has had a running attack to work with. 1st and 10 on the Detroit 26. Bubba Bean hit and dropped just about as he got back to the line of scrimmage, and it was Charlie Weaver who got him at the ankles and brought him down.
Benny, now their strategy is and should be to keep the ball on the ground, protect the football, 2 hands, keep that clock running, force the lines to use a timeout.
And Monty Clark very much aware as the clock ticks away, 1:34. Monty came in here 1-5, and a Detroit defeat today would make it their longest losing streak since 1966. But of course their record on the road is just terrible. 2nd and 9 on the Detroit 25. Bubba Bean got by Ed O'Neill, still going, touchdown. Bubba Bean scoring to just about ice the game for Atlanta. We do not see any flags, and it looks like he's in there for the touchdown. So Bubba Bean out of Texas A&M, a first-round draft choice.
A good job of picking a hole. The defense overran it. Bubba's a good runner, a good elusive runner. Missed tackle from behind, he scores.
Ed O'Neill might have had him right after he got beyond the line of scrimmage. But O'Neill, in moving quickly back to his left, tried to make an arm tackle, and it wasn't good enough. Tim Mazzetti will now try to make it 14-0 Atlanta. It's up. It is good. And there's a flag on the play. So hold it.
High snap on that extra point.
78 yards in 8 plays. We were telling you about Detroit and its road record. It is awful. If they lose today, the Lions will have lost 14 of their last 17 road games.
Unbelievable.
They just can't seem to get it together.
The Rams were that way at one time, Vinny.
You know, we talked, too, about Detroit and the very poor third down conversion. The last I checked, they were 1 for 11. They have the worst.
Illegal formation. No point.
That's kick over.
Detroit has the worst third down offense in the NFL.
And that's the big down.
Yeah, so you can see what kind of trouble they have. So they'll try it again. The hold will be on the 9. John James will hold. And Mazzetti kicks it through. So with 1 minute and 11 seconds left in the game, Lehman Bennett and the Atlanta Falcons are flying high. They are leading the flawless Detroit Lions 14-0. And what a bitter game this must be for Monty Clark and his kids. For Bubba Bean, the other side of the coin, it's a big day. Bean, who just scored the touchdown, has had 15 carries for 78 yards.
You know, he's another back. When we played Atlanta, we were worried about him making a big play. That is, making 1 or 2 tacklers miss. He's another back on the Falcons team that is underrated.
He's just coming. He had preseason knee injury in 1977. So even though he's had 2 years experience, he hasn't played that much.
Yes, he's been out.
Now the Atlanta Falcons will kick off, leading 14-0, a minute and 11 left. And the Rabbits will be going back. Jesse Thompson, number 84, Fred Scott, number 87. And one of them trying to bust one for a return.
You see how the momentum changes when you don't make it on 4th down. They go 78 yards for a touchdown. You just, even though you don't want to let down, you think, hey.
That's right.
Subconsciously.
Well, we'll see if they kick it to Freddie Scott. You just had a nice close-up of him. And Tim Mazzetti kicking off for Atlanta. And it's going down to Fred Scott. He'll take it at the 9, to the 20, 25, 30, skidding onto about the 32-yard line. Ray Strong laying on top of him. Well, we haven't had much offense today, but we've had some great football. And we've also had a marvelous job by our producer, Robert Stenner, our director, Tony Verna, to the associate producer, Gail Bledsoe, our engineer in charge, Marty Murphy, to all of the cameramen whose names you will not see, but what a great job they have done. Technical directors, Patrick Hubbard and Bill Lance, audio, Robbie Barnes. A lot of people to put on a good telecast. And, of course, for Detroit, they would like to have cut the cable. It is 14-0 Atlanta.
We've had a game here, a good football game, hard, well played, physical. Could have gone either way. Detroit dropped a couple of passes early, Vinny, that could have put them on the board.
In ordinary language, 2 young clubs learning to walk, and for Detroit, they're still a little behind Atlanta's defense.
Yes.
And they're also a lot behind on the scoreboard. 14-0 Atlanta. Monty Clark will be going home with a 1-6 record. The painful stages of rebuilding, particularly with a very young offensive line. 1st and 10, Detroit on the Lion 32. Danielson down the left side, no good. It was intended for Leonard Thompson. Greg Brazina was closer to the ball than Thompson.
It's so unusual to get a shutout in pro football that in this situation you tell your deep backs, line up deep, don't let them get behind you, give them anything in front of you, and play pass. If they're going to run the ball or screen, don't worry about it.
It's tough for Detroit. They came off that highly emotional binge against Washington only to lose. They might have spent themselves somewhat in that game, and Atlanta were kicked all over the lot by Pittsburgh, and they were able to regroup. Danielson down the right side to Dave Hill, who makes the reception and goes out of bounds shy of the 45.
Charlie Sanders was a great tight end. This Dave Hill is following in his footsteps.
He's 6'2", 230, three-year man out of Texas A&I. He was the #1 Lion in yardage reception last year with 465. So he's really just starting out, as you said. Luther Blue back in the ball game, number 89. Horace King, the remaining back, and he'll stay in to block. And there's a wind-up and throw intended for Fred Scott and broken up. Scotty was guarded by Rick Bias and Tom Pridemore.
Did you notice what they did, Vinny, on that? They flooded, put 3 receivers on one side, send them all deep on goal patterns, just put the ball up and hope that they'll take it away from the defense or maybe get a deflected ball.
I know in Ram technology, you'd call that trips, wouldn't you?
Yes, trips is right. See that?
The 3 receivers, and yet it was almost intercepted by Atlanta.
Defender had it, but he didn't play it at its highest point.
By the way, in mentioning the Rams, they're getting ready to try and preserve their undefeated string against Minnesota on part of this network. As Danielson is going to be buried, Jeff Merrow. Big guy, 6'4", 230 out of West Virginia.
He's improving. He's coming along real well. I had a coach by the name of Marv Matusek from Atlanta, and he liked this youngster, Marv. He said he's going to be a good one.
He played 6 weeks last year with a dislocated toe. He wouldn't come out, so he's tenacious. Danielson looking down the right side, and it was for Bussey, and there'll be a penalty against Robert Pennywell, and meanwhile, facing the ground is Dewey McClain, but Robert Pennywell is guilty of grabbing Dexter Bussey before the pass. You can take another look, and it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, that was a good call. He interfered with him. Watch him.
He's all over him. In fact, he's bringing Bussey down before the ball was even there.
Made contact before he had the ball.
And Bussey, if the official needed any help, pointing. Monty Clark could use a little help, but it's not coming today.
They're hoping, right now, they're hoping just to get on the board and not get shut out.
Right. They've had such a tough road schedule. Lehman Bennett, meanwhile, knows the time is his ally. 32 seconds left. 1st and 10 for Danielson, and he's going to go as far as he can go. Flag on the play, and look at that crowd. Intercepted.
There's a flag.
Intercepted by Atlanta, and a flag at the same time.
It's on Detroit.
See, it was at the bottom of that pile. It's number 27, Tom Pridemore.
It's Atlanta's ball.
Pridemore.
Illegal motion offense, decline the penalty, 1st down.
So Atlanta will decline the penalty. Pridemore's reception will stand. And so how about this litany of frustration for Detroit? 26 rushes, 22 yards. Danielson sacked 4 times for 48 yards. It has been a thoroughly frustrating day for the boys from the Motor City.
Yet, in spite of those stats, Vinny, they had a couple of chances to win the ball game.
And how? Which probably is even more frustrating.
Yes. Yeah. Now they're going to just fall on the ball.
20 seconds left. And down goes Bartkowski under a shield. And Atlanta will chew up the time. Well, we hope you enjoyed it. This is Vin Scully along with George Allen and Jim Brown. Atlanta sitting on top of a 14-0 lead. I'm sure you'll understand my mind will wander a bit at this juncture as we look at Lehman Bennett, and you wonder about what's going on up north in the Big Apple in the World Series.
Yes.
So we have not gotten any reports at all. Our world is football, and it is Lehman Bennett's world. Nice job, he says to Dewey McClain. Lehman Bennett is only 40. He was the UPI Coach of the Year in the NFC last year. 4 years a Rams receiver coach. He's out of Paducah, Kentucky, graduated from the University of Kentucky. He coached at Kentucky, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and the Naval Academy, and he was a pro coach in St. Louis, LA, and Detroit. He coached under Joe Schmidt in 1972.
This is a big win for the Falcons.
By the way, on this big day, Lehman Bennett rubbing it into Detroit because it's a new Atlanta defensive record. It had been 58 yards allowed. It's only 22 yards allowed today. Where's the ball? Bartkowski doesn't have it. Somebody else does. And it's Charlie Weaver running with the ball, but whistles are blown. Weaver and Bubba Bean are a little annoyed, and more flags. We might tie a record for flags thrown on one play. Charlie Weaver and Bubba Bean got hot, and Weaver wants a little more Bean.
Yeah, the game's over. This is unnecessary.
John Woodcock is saying to Weaver, cool it. Let's go home to Detroit. Charlie saying, I want to talk to Bubba. I want to lay my hands on Bubba. Well, Bean, of course, remember, scored the last touchdown, and Weaver deprived of his.
The ball wasn't even snapped.
No. Well, a breakdown with 15 seconds left to go. The frustrations piling up at the end of a long afternoon. And just to cap it, a penalty against Detroit.
Defense, illegal procedure, hitting the ball.
Well, that's summing it up. Hitting the ball. Now there is Bubba Bean. He's had a big day today and did not want any part of Charlie Weaver. Weaver is 6'2", 225. Bean is 5'11", 195. So you're not going to give away 30 pounds to that linebacker. Bubba, by the way, ran for 78 yards today. And down goes Bartkowski, and the clock ticks away. So this one is history in Atlanta. The Falcons now somewhat respectable, 3 victories and 4 losses. And for Charlie Weaver and the Detroit Lions, 1 victory, 6 losses. Lehman Bennett, formerly coach in Detroit. Greg Landry comes over to congratulate him, and now I think Charlie Weaver is shaking hands with Bubba Bean and others, saying, I guess, I'm sure, just one of those days. Great game, got hot under the collar at all. Monty Clark, not too much to say for Monty. Head coach at San Francisco in '76, laid out a year, and boy, it's a painful experience. 14-0 Atlanta. It's all over. We'll be back in a moment.
From the Sierras to the Smokies, people are discovering what makes the great outdoors great.
Beer makes it good. There's just one Schlitz. There's no debate. Nothing else comes near. Beer makes it good. When you're out of Schlitz, Schlitz makes it great. You're out of beer.
11 million times a day, America reaches for a Schlitz. Every drop show-lagered for quality since 1849.
Schlitz makes it like no other good. Schlitz makes it great.
Ford introduces a new wagon for the American road. The all-new LTD Country Squire for $79. A new wagon with more driver convenience, more handling ease, more window area, and more passenger room than last year's Country Squire.
This land is your land. This land is my land.
The all-new Ford LTD Country Squire for $79. See it at your Ford dealer now.
The end of a frustrating day on a happy note. Handshakes. Bubba Bean and Charlie Weaver saying forget a moment of passion in a hot, frustrating afternoon. And the same story for the coaches. Lehman Bennett wearing the red cap, the winner over Monty Clark as Atlanta defeats Detroit 14-0. This is Vin Scully along with George Allen and Jim Brown. The players are leaving the field, and Coach, we're going to be leaving the airwaves.
Vinny, I enjoyed this today with you very much.
Jim Brown went down to the field to do some interviews, but then the last couple of minutes of the ball game took too long. So stay tuned now as the NFL Today continues after this word from your local station.
This is CBS.